Уважаемые дамы и господа,
Ladies and gentlemen,
дорогие друзья,
dear friends,
искренне рад приветствовать всех
I'm
вас,
sincerely glad to welcome all
собравшихся
of you
здесь на деловой
here
форум
at the
BRICS.
BRICS Business Forum.
Состав участников весьма
The
солидный.
participation therein
Здесь
is quite
ведущие
high profile.
представители бизнеса
Here
из
present
всех
are
государств
leading business
объединены.
representatives of all
Ваша
BRICS
компания
states.
давно уже
Your
и
companies
успешно
have been long
сотрудничают
and
друг с
successfully
другом,
cooperating
реализуют
between
крупные
each other.
совместные проекты
You
в самых
implement
разных
key
отраслях:
joint projects in
промышленности,
various
энергетики,
sectors:
транспорте
industry,
и
energy,
инфраструктуре,
transport,
сельском
infrastructure,
хозяйстве и
agriculture,
цифровой экономике.
and digital economy.
Особо хочу
I would
отметить,
like to
что на
specifically
нынешний
note
форум
that the
прибыли
current
и
forum
бизнесмены из
also
тех
brought
стран, которые с
together
1 января
businessmen
текущего
from
года
those
стали
countries that
полноправными
from
членами
January
BRICS.
1st have
А
become the
это
full BRICS
наши
members.
коллеги и друзья из
Namely, I'm
Саудовской
talking about
Аравии,
our
Ирана,
colleagues and friends from Saudi
Египта,
Arabia,
Эфиопии,
Iran,
Объединенных
Egypt,
Арабских
Ethiopia,
Эмиратов.
the United Arab
Подчеркну,
Emirates.
Россия,
I would
как
like to
действующий
highlight that
председатель здесь,
Russia, as the
стремится всячески
acting BRICS
способствовать
chair,
интеграции,
by all means
извините
seeks
за такое
to
слово, интеграции
help
новобранцев
integrate
во все
new
механизмы сотрудничества.
members
Видим, что в
or
деловом
new
совете
conscripts, sorry
радушно
for this,
приняты представители
into all
из новых
cooperation
стран-участниц.
mechanisms. And we
А
see that
те,
the Business
в свою
Council
очередь,
was happy
активно
to
включились в
welcome
работу.
businessmen from new member
Российское
states, and in their
председательство
turn,
проходит
they
под
actively
общим
got on
девизом
board. The
укрепления
Russian chairship
многосторонности для
has
справедливого
an
глобального развития
overall
и
motto
безопасности.
strengthening multilateralism from
Реализуется
just
содержательный
global
план
development
действий,
and
нацеленный на
security.
приближение партнеров
A meaningful
по
action
трем
plan
ключевым
is put
направлениям.
into practice.
Это
It seeks
политика,
to advance partnership
безопасность,
on three
экономика,
pillars:
финансы,
policy and security,
культурные и
economy,
гуманитарные
finance,
связи.
culture, and
К
people-to-people
настоящему времени
contacts.
план выполнен
As of
более
now,
чем
the
на
plan has been fulfilled
80%.
by over
Проведено свыше
80%.
200
Over 200
мероприятий,
events took
совещаний,
place,
конференций,
meetings,
открытых встреч.
conferences, sectoral
Состоялось
sessions,
большинство
the
экспертных
majority of
и
expert
министерских
and
заседаний. Но,
ministerial
конечно,
meetings took
центральным
place,
событием
but
станет
certainly
саммит
the
BRICS.
BRICS
Он
summit will
стартует
become
на
the
следующей
centerpiece.
неделе
It
в
starts next
российском
week
городе
in the Russian
Казани.
city of
Символично,
Kazan.
что
It is emblematic
предваряет встречу лидеров
that
в
the
Казани
leaders'
именно
meeting in
деловой
Kazan
форум,
is preceded
ваше
by the
собрание. Тем
business
самым
forum,
подчеркивается
your
важность
group.
тесного
Hence,
экономического
we emphasize
партнерства
the
наших
importance
стран.
of close economic partnership of your countries
Продвижение торговли и
to advance trade and investment, to deepen cooperation ties.
Совместная работа в БРИКС по
The joint BRICS
ускорению
efforts to
социально-экономического роста
expedite
и
social and
обеспечению
economic growth to
устойчивого
ensure
развития
sustainable development
приносят конкретные
yields specific,
осязаемые
tangible
результаты.
results.
На деле
It
способствует
helps in
улучшению
practice to
благосостояния и
improve the
качества жизни
prosperity and living
простых граждан
standards
наших
of
стран.
rank-and-file citizens of our
Цифры
countries.
говорят сами за
And
себя.
numbers are
Я уверен,
self-evident.
что вы,
I'm
конечно,
positive that
знаете в
certainly
целом
you
эти цифры,
know
но позволю себе
about these
все-таки
numbers overall,
некоторые из них
but
назвать.
allow me to say a thing or two about that.
Совокупный
The
ВВП
BRICS
объединения
aggregate
составляет более
GDP
60
amounts to over
триллионов
60
долларов.
trillion
А
USD.
общая доля в
Its
мировом
overall
валовом
share
продукте
in global
уверенно
GDP
превышает соответствующий
strongly
показатель
exceeds
так
the
называемой
relevant indicator of
группы
the so-called
семьи и продолжает
G7
расти.
and
Я
continues
уже
to grow.
публично встречаясь с вашими российскими
As I
коллегами,
met
говорил об
publicly
этом,
with your
но
Russian
все-таки
colleagues, I've
скажу
mentioned
еще
that,
раз,
and I would like to
здесь,
specifically
в этом
highlight it
зале, с
once
вашим
again
участием.
here in this
Например,
room with
смотрите,
your participation.
1992
In
год группа
1992,
семьи
G7 amounted to 45.5%.
А в этот же год
And the same year,
страны БРИКС,
BRICS countries,
1992 год,
and I'm talking about 1992, mind you,
16,7%
they
мирового
amounted to 16.7% of global GDP. Whereas now, the year 2023, our grouping amounted to 38.3%, or rather 37.4%, and G7 amounted to 29.3%, and the gap is broadening. It will continue to broaden. It is inevitable, and that is a totally clear dynamic. Over the past decades, on top of that, over 40% of global GDP growth of the whole global economic dynamics accounted
По итогам
for
текущего
BRICS
года
states.
средние темпы экономического роста в
This
БРИКС
year, average economic growth rate of BRICS is estimated at 4%,
это выше как темпов
which
странах семерки,
exceeds
там всего
the
1,7%.
growth rate of G7 countries, which is 1.7%, and which exceeds world growth rates, which will be at 3.2%. These are their estimates. BRICS account for a fourth of global exports of goods. At the same time, companies of BRICS countries dominate many key markets, including energy, metals, and food markets. Thus, they dominate on markets of such goods without which sustainable economic development is impossible. In short, BRICS is already playing a prominent role in global economy of today, and this role will increase in the future. BRICS countries are in fact drivers of global growth. And it is BRICS that will generate the main GDP growth in the near future. The relevant development platforms are emerging within BRICS, among them communication channels, technological and educational standards, financial systems, payment instruments, and of course, mechanisms of sustainable long-term investment. In other words, economic growth of BRICS members will depend less and less on external influence and interference. This is essentially economic sovereignty and partnership of self-sufficient economies, which will manifold strengthen the potential and open new opportunities. I'll add that the new development bank has a special role to play in strengthening financial cooperation. It's a strong and effective structure. It possesses a solid capital base and a team of skilled experts. As the Development Finance Institution, the new development bank represents a real alternative to a great number of Western financial mechanisms, and we will continue to develop it, not to use it as against anyone, and we will increase its opportunities. The new development bank should become one of the key investors in the long term in major technological infrastructure projects in BRICS and Global South. One of the key issues of strengthening business partnership within BRICS is to enhance transportation connectivity and to create new relevant for businesses freight routes and corridors and modern multimodal solutions and logistics schemes. The Russia BRICS chairship has launched a regular dialogue between transport ministries on these issues, and we are developing such initiatives as the launch of electronic coordination platform and establishment of the BRICS reinsurance pool. In the Business Council, we have established a separate subgroup on logistics, and I would like to thank members of the Business Council and the businessmen for supporting the concept of the permanent logistics platform.
Russia is swiftly redirecting its transport flows to reliable foreign partners. Our flagship projects include the Northern Sea Route and the North-South Corridor. These continental arteries are intended to provide short and economically efficient trade routes and connect large industrial, agricultural, and energy and power hubs to consumer markets. We are implementing a large-scale plan to develop the Northern Sea Route. We are building up our icebreaker fleet, including nuclear-powered vessels. In order to test the routes, we have launched coastal routes. We are modernizing satellite constellations, and we are constructing new fuel terminals as well as navigation safety centers and other coastal infrastructure. We are enabling broader road and railroad access to seaports. In its turn, the North-South Transport Corridor is connecting the Russian ports at Northern Seas and in the Baltics to the terminals of the Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean, Among other things, it is a key to enabling greater cargo flow between Eurasian and African continents. We are closely cooperating with our BRICS partners in the fields of innovation and digital economy. I have just mentioned our opportunities as regards the food and energy markets, but definitely we are looking into the future. We are working to achieve certain results and indicators. We are developing e-commerce, and we are implementing the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence technologies, as well as processing of the so-called big data. And in order to deepen our cooperation in the field of industrial digitalization, we intend to launch at BRICS Center for Competencies under UNIDO. In future, we should develop a single digital infrastructure in the BRICS, and here it is crucial to make sure that business, civil society, and sectoral authorities come up with a negotiated principle to the use of biometrics as well as insurance of information security. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect that Business Council will provide specific recommendations. Ladies and gentlemen, Russia is open for mutually beneficial business cooperation. We are trying to put in place friendly and globally competitive environment for local and foreign business in order to attract capitals and technologies, primarily in cooperation with you. Let me stress once again that our shared efforts should be primarily focused on the development and strengthening of our own platforms that enable economic growth. I'm talking about technological solutions, financial and investment mechanisms, as well as broader logistics and so on. I'm confident implementation of the BRICS potential, based in particular on the high population and vast forces, will bring utmost benefit to our countries, to our businesses, and all of our citizens. And in conclusion, I would like to wish the participants of the Business Council fruitful deliberations, successful work, and all the best. I believe and I expect that at the summit, as has been already mentioned, at the summit in Kazan, the acting president of the Business Council of BRICS will report on the results. And I hope that he will learn more about the Russian capital, Moscow, that is undoubtedly, we are proud to say this, one of the most beautiful countries of the world. It is swiftly developing international hub. Thank you very much.
Спасибо.